Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy. Today we're looking at the new Lincoln Navigator. I'll include a link to the Larry Miller Lincoln's website in the description down below. If you have any questions, just ask for Scott. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Powering this is a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed. Fuel economy is 15 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 440 horsepower and then 510 pound-feet of torque. And unlike the Escalade's V8, this can actually make it more than 10,000 miles without blowing up. Before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Not a lot to see on the hood, but I do like this metallic white paint. It definitely pops a bit. Now the new lighting cluster is pretty crazy here. Of course, you've got kind of like a sequential design, but not only does the headlight illuminate, if you follow it, it illuminates all the way into the grille as well. And you can imagine at nighttime, that's definitely going to be distinctive. Now, the trim at the bottom is all blacked out. We do have parking sensors as well. And overall, I do think that the front end of the new Navigator looks pretty darn good. Our tire wheel setup is 275 by 50 by 22. The wheels are completely blacked out with this one. No fender flares, but the fenders kind of pop out a little bit. There's this blacked out trim piece with the Navigator logo on it. And that's kind of the theme with the Navigator. We've got a bunch of contrast pieces that are all blacked out. With the key fob, we've got the Lincoln logo there on the back. We have our lock and unlock function, remote start, the opening for the hatch as well. Now, just like the new Expedition, this has a tailgate in the rear. Also got some USB ports, a little 12 volt here in the back, and then a full power outlet as well. And then we've got these controls to raise and lower the third row via power. And this one is the Tahoe-sized version, so it's not the longer version of the Navigator. So decent space behind the third row, not a crazy amount though. Now this new taillight design is definitely interesting, giant light bar. And you know, I'm not so sure about the whole back end of this vehicle. Maybe it'll grow on me over time, we'll see. But let's pop inside. Soft touch trim with stitching here at the top, down below as well. There's some nice storage at the bottom of the doors, and then we've got power running boards. And look at these seats. Those look amazingly comfortable. We'll see though. The second row seats are actually power adjustable with lumbar. I will say these seats are comfortable, and legroom here in the second row is also good. We've got some USB ports back here. Now this is funny. This is actually controls to open or close the sunshade with the sunroof. We've got another little outlet down below, and then we've got some cup holders. Very slow to release though. There's also the center console here in the rear, good storage there, and then we've got some more cup holders and storage in front of it. We have the screen in the rear to control stuff like the climate here in the back. And then if I actually go into the little seat tab right there, you'll notice I've got heated and cooled massaging seats. So pretty cool little piece of tech there. There's buttons on the side of the seat here to pull it forward or put it back into place. This allows me to access the third row, which again, I've got pretty good legroom. I also have my seat recline feature here in the back. And these seats are actually pretty comfortable. They got nice trim. Not as comfortable as the second row, but still a nice place to be. I'm not sure if this is actually a screen. When you tap on it like the other one, it doesn't turn on, but maybe it is and I'm just stupid. Let's now pop up front. We've got soft touch here up top, down below just like the back door panel. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then you've got a nice finish on like the window controls and the door lock and unlock. Here's kind of a closer look at that. Very comfortable front seat there, perforated all down the center. You've got your power adjustments on the side. And then you've got these buttons to open up the hatch and the tailgate from the front. Well, let's start her up. Just like the Expedition, we've got the squared off steering wheel. And it has practical controls like the adaptive cruise control on one side and then the kind of multi-function control on the other side to adjust stuff like the steering wheel up and down. You know, the stitching is nice in the center of the steering wheel, and then you've got regular stalks there on the back. We've got this giant screen here on the dash. The first part is just kind of like a traditional gauge cluster, so it has your fuel range. It also shows you how fast you're going. Now the second part right next to that, that's part of the same screen, is kind of like this customizable tab where you can change what it displays. Right now it's got the map function up. Then we've got the next part of the screen, which is 3 separate kind of tabs, so you can customize what each of these individual tabs show. When you do put the Navigator in reverse, the backup camera actually pops up on the top screen that's on the dash. So it is far away, but also it's on the dash where you're going to be looking most of the time anyways. But when you put it all together, it's just one giant screen setup all across. If you're wondering to customize these tabs, all you have to do is just drag and drop, and that'll change what shows there. So for example, let's just do trailer trip. Now the screen all the way off to the right-hand side has that information displayed. And that's just on this tab with the screen. Shortcut bar here on the side, pretty quick to respond. Climate controls there at the bottom. You've got shortcut buttons for the heated and cooled seats as well. And then a lot of vehicle stuff is actually built into the screens, like your drive modes, your seat memory, hill descent control, even the lighting. So they've done the GM thing where they've built the light controls into the screen. Now below that infotainment system, we got our engine stop start, and then you've got your buttons for the transmission select. This also has a gear select as well as parking assist. This nice crystal for the volume control, and then next to it, hazard lights, auto stop start, and then a shortcut for the drive modes. Some cup holders inside. We have a wireless phone charging pad on the other side, and you have these little tabs to cover everything up. There's more storage underneath the center console as well, and we've got an actual center console here with some fancy armrests up top. Board's still just rocking a regular rear view mirror, and then we do have a panoramic sunroof up top. Oh, and one last thing, we do have trailer brake controls and Pro Trailer Assist. This is just on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. Now this one is a 202A equipment group vehicle. Jet appearance package, interesting. Anyways, $109,845 is the total MSRP. Let's sum things up. Well, Lincoln Navigator, and sorry, let me make sure this is, I think it's pretty good. The fancy Expedition. I really want to get a side-by-side with this and the new Escalade. That'll probably take some time, but we'll get it done. The reason why it'll take time is this is the Lincoln dealership here in, if you're familiar with Utah, this is in Draper. The Cadillac dealership is in Salt Lake or Provo. So yeah, I've got to take one vehicle to the other store. So yeah, I'll figure out the logistics another day. But so far, it's quiet. This has so many features. I mean, it's heated, cooled, massaging seats. They're going all out with these luxury cars nowadays. This has the same funky steering as the new Expedition. Steering wheel is even the same shape and everything. Of course, there's gonna be a lot of carryover. They're sibling vehicles. But yeah, it's definitely a unique feel. But I will say, you get used to the steering pretty quickly because it's very direct and it's very light. It's pretty effortless. Now the torque, of course, is great. This is the high output. You can get the high output in certain packages in the Expedition. So you've got really good low-end torque. You've got a turn signal camera too, that's nice. You can turn your turn signal, does a camera on the side that you're turning to. It's like a blind spot camera, I guess is a good way to put it too. But anyways, yeah, it's basically like a fully loaded Expedition, but then, right, you got the Lincoln styling and the Lincoln interior. And there are benefits going to Lincoln. The materials feel, you know, a little bit nicer in certain areas, and then seats are definitely a lot more comfortable. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that's appealing, in my opinion. Very comfortable ride. Yeah, I actually kind of like the steering. It's weird. It is weird. There's no denying that. But I actually kind of like it. Now this is body on frame with independent suspension front and rear. So it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. Body on frame helps out with isolation over bumps, because when you go over a bump, right, the separation with the body and the frame means that the frame takes the impact and the body is slightly isolated from that. And then independent suspension further isolates by making it so when you go over a bump, it only hits one corner of the car rather than going across a solid axle. And that's why these full-size luxury SUVs are some of the most comfortable cars that you can buy, because of the construction of the vehicle. Yeah, the power is great, super smooth. And look at that, the engine survived somehow. It didn't blow up like a 6.2 V8 in an Escalade. I gotta throw some shade, because man, it's crazy. That engine is so old. It's old school, and yet I don't know. Who knows what's happening there? But this new Navigator is nice. It has all the stuff that the new Expedition has. It just has a little bit more pizzazz. Now, is this worth it over a fully loaded Expedition? I'm gonna find that out this week or next week. There's a package with the Expedition called the why can't I think of the name of it? It's the Platinum. It's not Platinum Plus. I think maybe it is Platinum Plus or something like that. I can't remember the name. Anyways, they make a version of the Expedition that is like crazy loaded up. So when I do that review, just look out for that, and I'll let you guys know if that's as nice as this Navigator. But the big benefit of the Navigator, right, you're getting the Lincoln badge, you get the prestige associated with that, you get really comfortable seats, and I mean the looks, right? That's a big part of it. If you're going to spend over $100,000, you want something that looks unique and has a you know, luxury name to it, right? Because that fully loaded Expedition's basically $100,000. So, and it sells a Ford badge on it, which Ford's not a bad company, obviously, but you know, if you're driving a luxury car, you want it to have, if you're paying the money for a luxury car, you want it to have the luxury name. So this is a nice vehicle. See, you've got stitching on the grab handle. That is overkill. It drives really well. I do want to get some comparisons down the road with, again, that fully loaded version of the Expedition, and then also I kind of want to see how this would side by side compare against the new Escalade, because that's the new top dog. Even it'd be interesting to see a Grand Wagoneer in the mix too. Grand Wagoneer is actually pretty underrated in this segment. But let me know what you guys think about the new Navigator. But it's got a lot of screens, so if you're someone who likes tech, this has got it.